What's up guys, Jake from MACkite here today to talk to you about the 2022 Duotone Ergo straps, which are, in my opinion, the best straps in the industry. There is one important caveat to that: they will not fit most boards. Let's get into what makes them so awesome, see if there's anything you can do about it, and discuss some solutions for brands in the future. So what makes these straps so awesome? I think there's a couple things going on. The first for me is this zonal 2-strap adjustment. I've ridden all sorts of different straps. Here in Michigan, when we have cold water, I tend to like a single strap system because it gives you a little bit more elevation, so you can fit a wetsuit booty in there, and you don't really need something that cinches down to your feet because you have a little extra slop with your wetsuit booty already. These Ergo straps do work well with booties, but personally I think you can skimp on a premium strap if you are riding with a booty quite a bit. I've also had experience with straps like the North Flex, which is a 2-strap system. It's pretty nice. The Cabrina H2Os have a 2-strap system, but they're tracked. And then you have straps like the Nash Apex and the Slingshot Dualies, which have 4 zonal adjustments. I'm currently riding the Asylum, and I like the dually straps, but I feel like I can't really get them cinched down to my feet like I can the Ergos, and I am always jealous when I ride a Duotone board and I slip my foot into this strap. So the Ergo straps are going to come in 4 different sizes. They're available in a small, medium, large, and extra large. Make sure to consult the website size chart so you make sure you get the right size for your foot. This is going to be based off of barefoot measurements. So if you're in a place like Michigan with colder weather and you're wearing booties, you may want to size up to accommodate that. So with regard to this zonal adjustment, one thing that Duotone did is they changed this to a snap-on system. So what that means is once you get this fitted, you go ahead and you clip it on to these little nodes here, and that strap is more or less going to stay locked in into the size that you set it on. It's easy if you're falling, you're wiping out, you're getting yanked, for your foot to slowly loosen that strap. And then after a session, 2 sessions, you need to retighten it down. And honestly, like depending on the shape of your foot, that can be kind of difficult. Sometimes it's really a balancing act with finding that comfort level where it stays anchored enough to stay on your feet, but it's not so tight that it's uncomfortable or your board doesn't eject when you need it to. So this is a really cool system. You can go ahead and tighten this right here, and this is going to get the top portion of your foot. And then down here, you tighten that and it goes to the front portion of your foot. These 2 straps they're anchored here on one side, and then they're actually separated out and independent on the other. That is what's going to allow you to have such a customized fit, is the fact that these fork off like this rather than being one unibody pad that you're just slowly kind of tightening down and hoping you get it right. This independence is huge. It also has 2 tracks, so you can put it closest for narrower feet, or if you have wider feet you can open it up into the second track, which again just results in a truer fit. It matches your foot a lot better. These straps do include hardness pads that go underneath here. You can't see it right now because these are installed, but they have a soft, medium, and hard depending on what kind of heel pressure you want. And this is a really nice molded shape itself. It's got a toe grip up here, which if you're doing jumps or popping the board behind your head is nice for anchoring. It's got a little bit of 3D shaping on the inside to accommodate the arch and the curvature of your foot. And then it does sit in this bed right here, which does a really good job cradling the heel. And it results in a really comfortable, fitted, locked in but not too tight fit, if that makes sense. If you've been kiting long enough, you know that you want your strap to feel like it's not going to pop off if you're jumping, but you can still get out of it if you need to kick it off. And this really is able to thread that balance pretty well. It's also got zonal adjustment on the side here, so you can really customize how you want these angled. Overall, it's a really, really awesome strap. The big downside. Well, actually, there's two downsides. One of them being the biggest issue is these are 7-inch spacing. So the majority of boards out there are going to be 6-inch spacing. The majority of straps out there are 6-inch spacing. So on a board that has a fixed hole system, you're not able to really put these on. As I'm going to show in a second, there is one angle that you can kind of find and make work, but it's not ideal. Duotone, what they did is they have a track system on their board. So you can accommodate a 6-inch space strap, you can accommodate the ergos. This is a really nice system. There are certain drawbacks to a track. So Duotone is one of the only systems that still does have this track system. The fact that they can accommodate basically any strap on the market is pretty nice, and one of the recommendations I would make for brands, but we'll get to that a little bit later. The other drawback, and supposedly they've done a good job or a better job of upgrading the plastic in 2022. The plastic over on this side in the past has shown that it's more likely to fatigue, and that can break over time. And that's not something that there's an easy replacement part for. I wouldn't say it's something that we see all of the time, but I've certainly seen it enough for it to be worth noting. And Duotone has supposedly addressed this for 2022 by upgrading that plastic. So time will tell. But honestly, I think it's a pretty small drawback for the most comfortable strap on the market. So let's take a look at how different straps stack up, so you don't just have to take my word for it. Okie dokie. Through the magic of editing, we have a Cabrini Spectrum here, which is going to have standard 6-inch spacing, and we have a couple different straps to show you how they line up. So we'll start right here. You can see if you take your tape measure and you measure right from the middle of the hole to the other hole, that's going to be 6 inches. So we're going to go ahead, take this Cabrini H1 strap, line it up. It fits right in the middle. It's a 6-inch spaced pad. Okay, so we have the 7-inch spaced pad here. So what we can do if we want to make this work is we can go to the outermost holes right here. That's not going to be an exact 7 inches, but if you're careful, you can line up one configuration. And it's going to look something like this. So it does point out, which is what you want. This is something where I'm going to put a big buying caveat. Again, because you're going to be fairly locked in. You can tweak this slightly, but you run out of room pretty quick. It goes out about this far, and there's not really any additional positional changes. So you do have a small window, and you do have to be careful about lining up the screws because you do want this to sit in the middle to disperse the load. And that's just going to be for the sake of your gear and for safety purposes. But you can make this work. It's just a very limited configuration. One kind of interesting note to this is Duotone makes two different sets of pads, the Entities and the Varios. The Vario is a pared back option. It has two straps, but it functions as a unibody strap. And you can see right here that they have large hole inserts. So I could go ahead, put it on this board. I could make it fit with the 6 centimeter or the 6-inch spacing just fine. So you could use the Varios on any board. Because these are so large, this will go out to 7 inches as well. But I don't think there's any Duotone board with actual fixed screw holes. If it's all a track system, it's kind of irrelevant that this does go out to 7 inches because 6-inch straps will fit in a Duotone track. But just to verify, you can go ahead and measure. Yep, 7.7, 6.6, they'll both work. So what can be done about this? One, you can put the Entity strap on your board and you can just have a very limited configuration about where the strap fits. On this Cabrini Spectrum, for example, it only has these 2 screw holes, so there's only one position that it's going to fit. You'll get a little bit more adjustments if there's 3 screw holes, but not very much. So should Duotone then go and reduce their width to 6 inches? Honestly, with this double track system that allows you to go from narrow to wide, I just don't think there's the bandwidth there. If we were to measure, that 6-inch would put it right dab in the middle of that. Even if we pushed it there and there, there's just really no way for it to accommodate that spacing. So what is the best solution for this? Here's looking at you brands. In my opinion, all brands should figure out a way to accommodate the Ergo bindings. These are so comfortable. I'm sure there's a few people out there whose feet won't fit into these in a comfortable way, but I think those will be the minority of people. And if your feet don't fit that comfortable in here, I can't imagine there's a strap that's going to do a much better job, unless it's just like more pared back and simple. And Duotone still offers the Vario if that's the direction you want to go. I'm not saying brands stop making their own strap, but you should figure out a way to make these Ergos work. Guys, this has been Jake from MACkite. Thanks for checking us out.